Mihi atu korua, kia ora whai Meg.
Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Now we're after a little bit of āwhina today. We need some help for Hawaii. How tō pātai tama?
Yeah, so I need to make a worm farm.
Worm farm, righty-ho. Well, that's pretty easy. I think we'll be all sorted for that today.
Oh, yeah, I think it's like a school project. I know that you can buy them.
Yeah.
Awa nui te utu, it's quite expensive, but I'm sure that you could show us how to make them from scratch.
That's right.
So what do we need?
We need 2 30 to 40 litre plastic storage bins. The drill was a 4-bit and a 6-bit for making drainage and ventilation holes. 2 small slabs of untreated timber, some newspaper or soft paper, some pre-made compost is also quite good too if you're just starting from scratch. And of course 250 grams of worms. Well, I've got a container here that we'll use for our worm farm, and I've already drilled some holes in the bottom of it here.
So what are these holes for?
That's a really good question. There's 2 lots of holes. We've got holes in the bottom to allow for some drainage, and then we've got some holes at the top for ventilation.
Nā reira, kei te aha tātou nei, what do we do now?
Well, I think we just need to finish off the ventilation holes.
Hawaii ka āwhina koe ia whai Meg?
Right.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. There we go.
Pai tā korua mahi, very good job. Me hai nei.
Right, next is making a bed for our worms.
How do we make a moinga noke? How do we make a worm bed?
I've got some newsprint here, and what we're going to do is we're going to actually rip it up into shreds and then make it nice and moist and then layer it up with some compost.
Ka pai tā mahi.
Cool, so that's looking really good, guys. Look at all that. So all we need to do is get some water and dampen it down.
Ka māku.
Excellent. And do you want to have a little go with just gently pouring some water there, Hawaii? Doesn't need to be absolutely soaking, just so that it's nice and damp. Oh, that's looking awesome. So I think we can get onto our compost layer.
Nā reira, I tēnei rā, so today we're going to use the compost you got from the garden centre. If you don't have that, he mea anō hei tuku ki roto? Is there something else you could put in?
Yeah, well, actually, if you have some aged compost already, you can use something like that. You can put a few food scraps in there, or cardboard like egg containers or toilet rolls.
But are there any food scraps you wouldn't put in?
Definitely. Citrus is a big no-no because it changes the acidity of the worm farm. And also onions and garlics are considered no-nos too because they can make it smell. Also, meat is not good to put in. Too much dairy is not ideal. Even too many lawn clippings because they'll actually mean that the whole system overheats. So, I mean, if you're in doubt about something, you know, it pays to maybe look it up online because there's heaps of info on there. Okay, gang, time for the worms.
Mai ana e āwhina?
Okay.
You know, a lot of people don't like worms, but actually they form a really important part of our ecosystem, breaking down food scraps and things like that.
No hea ngā noke nei, where did you get these worms from?
Well, these ones are bought online, but actually you can often pick them up at the garden centre or even the hardware store. So what we'll do is we'll make them feel even safer and put their duvet on. But we'll get the spritzer out again and we'll make it nice and moist so that they're not dry. It's really important to keep this probably in the shade or maybe even in the garage. Just remember to water them regularly so that the soil stays really nice and moist.
Ngā noke, hea tō mihi whakawheta ki a whai Meg.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, all the best for your school project.
Little bit of expert advice.
That's the one.
We should get a good mark for this one. Ka pai hua hoki ki te whānau, and it'll be very helpful actually to have this. Okay, taupoki ki runga, so put the lid on. Yay. Kua kai ngā noke, so the noke have had a nice little kai. Should we have one too?
Yeah, it's a great idea.
O māti, o māti.